It was still dark on the walls, but barely. Lurwyn was gone, but a rim of light was showing at the horizon. I couldn't afford to retrace ground I'd already covered, so I turned away from Hulagai and the stone cylinder. I walked more boldly now, although I still avoided guards. There was no time for creeping in shadows. And then I came on a small courtyard. Its gate was narrow, with only a single guard. Light spilling out of a door showed a large two-wheeled cart with one horse. While I watched, a scrawny old man came out with a large tub and dumped its contents into the cart. The smell told me what it was: kitchen slops. Soon the high-wheeled cart would make its way outside the walls to the dumping ground, for Lanta had no sewers, as Cassel does. When the old man went back into the kitchens, I climbed down into the courtyard, ran to the cart, and clambered in. I burrowed down into scraps of spoiled meat, fruit peels, rinds, and half-rotted vegetables. The stench was enough to choke a jackal, but I'd be invisible to anyone who wasn't looking for me. 3 more times waste tubs were emptied on top of me. Then, finally, the cart creaked forward and someone woke the guard at the gate with curses. The guard muttered about having duty where there was no one to talk to, and where he had to help the slop man get in and out. The slop man said something about if he didn't quit sleeping when he was supposed to be guarding, he'd end up being carried out with the slops himself. The guard answered with curses, but the slop man just climbed up on the seat at the front of the cart and flapped the reins. The horse moved forward, and, pursued by the guard's curses, we left the palace of the twin thrones. I shifted a melon rind from in front of my face and watched the roof lines go by in the lightening sky. Of the driver, the slop man, I could make out only a skinny back hunched in a tunic, colorless except for its stains and a fringe of white hair. The horse moved at a trot through streets that were largely silent at that hour. Soon the inner wall passed, and the guards at the outer wall sent the cart on with only a word. Obviously they knew it. On the road from the city, it seemed that the driver knew every rut and bump and was determined to visit all of them. I was about to make a move when the cart stopped and the driver hopped down. From the front of the cart came sounds of activity. Then suddenly the shafts shot into the air, and the cart spilled backward, dumping the garbage and me onto the ground. The driver came around the cart, a shovel in his hand, and stopped in surprise. "What are you doing there? Get out of that!" A look of puzzlement came onto his face. "How did you get in there?" "Old man," I said, "I've always wanted to ride in a slop cart ever since I was a boy. Today I did it." "Are you mad?" he quavered. "I didn't stop from the palace to here. Who are you?" He poked the shovel out like a spear. It wasn't much, but from the rear it'd be a formidable weapon, so I took it and broke it over my knee. "I can't stop to answer your questions, old man. You start walking back to Lanta, and I'll take your horse and be on my way. I'd leave it to you, but I have a long way to go, and you'll be home in under an hour." "Take the horse? You've already broken my shovel. If you take the horse, I'll be beaten for sure." "It'll probably hurt the whip more than you, scrawny as you are. Look, you're not that old. Don't go back to the palace. Say you're a free man and find work. You'll not be beaten then." "You mean run away?" He sounded shocked. "But what if I couldn't find work? How would I eat? Where would I sleep?" I reached out and tapped the man on the eye. He staggered back 2 steps and sat down in the road. He looked surprised as he sat there with one hand over the eye. "That'll swell soon," I said. "Tell them you were attacked. You fought, but there were too many for you. Show them your eye, and maybe they won't beat you." A grin blossomed on his face. "Thank you, master. Thank you." He scrambled up and hurried down the road, looking over his shoulder at every other step, no doubt to see if I'd changed my mind. Once I got a better look at his beast, I was tempted to call him back and make him take it. How he thought anyone would punish him for losing such a spavined creature was beyond my comprehension. I thought they might reward him for getting rid of it.